the Lagos State government has announced a partial closure of the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway for a period of 4 weeks. The closure, starting Wednesday, February 11, is to enable the Federal Ministry of Works to carry out rehabilitation on some sections of the road. The Commissioner for Transportation, Oluwaseun Osiyemi, made this known in a statement shared on X. According to the minister, the rehabilitation would cover the stretch from the U-turn bus stop to Sango Tollgate, affecting both inbound and outbound lanes of the expressway. To minimize traffic disruptions, the commissioner said the project would be executed in 2 phases. News Central's Victor Mbadike is at the repair site and joins us live now. Victor, thank you for speaking to us this afternoon. First of all, can you describe the current state of the road and why these repairs have become necessary?
Very much. Thank you so much, Maso. So basically, there are 2 carriageways on this stretch of the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway where I'm currently at. To be precise, I'm currently at where they usually call U-turn bus stop at Apuliegba. And so the Ministry of Works thought it wise that before the roads become so worse that it can no longer be motorable, certain portions or sections of the road need some rehabilitation, which means that if you look at the other right side of the road where you find LASMA officials or certain trucks, the roads, the way they are, look as if they are 100% smooth and perfect. But the Ministry of Works told us clearly that they've done some, carried out some tests on this portion of the expressway and found out that if something is not done urgently, we'll begin to have situations or cases of potholes, gallops and all of that. So before these roads, wear and tear or get to a worse situation, they have to, fix it. Don't forget that the road itself looks like a human being. It's not until you fall sick that before you begin to treat yourself. Sometimes you need to go to the hospital for checkup and all of that. So the roads are currently under check. They've carried out their tests and realized that if something is not done on this road at the moment, it might become so worse that vehicles may no longer find it easier or accessible as it is. So what we have now, you can see just behind me, you have trucks milling that portion of that road. You'll notice that there is a demarcation there's a caution tape that has demarcated this carriageway, which means that there will not be traffic allowed on that part of the road that is already being walked upon. So vehicles that are supposed to take on this traffic have been swept, to one corner. So although there might be some little traffic, but it's worth the pain. So that other aspect of the road is being currently walked upon now. So you see the trucks, milling of this particular section of that road. So what they do is try and remove the surface of that particular stretch of the road and replace with new concrete. That's what is actually done on this one already here on the left-hand side of the road. Now, this is going to take at least 2 weeks until March 4. Between now and March 4, these repairs will be done here. Now, after which they are done, they go to the next side of the carriageway, which is the inbound Lagos. So those coming from Abeokuta and everyone's into Lagos, that other stretch of the road would also, have the same, care and same attention paid into. So that's going to start from March 4 to March 11, which are under 2 weeks. So in total, you have about 4 weeks. That's a month for such repair works to be taken on this stretch of the road. So let me just quickly do a recap. So on this carriageway, it has been divided into 2. One section has been fixed already. As you can see, vehicles are already plying on that part on this road has been fixed already. So on the other side is where you can see milling trucks taking off the asphalt at the surface of the road and replace them with new ones. You might not see potholes, but before you get to a point where potholes are beginning to surface, the Ministry of Works felt that it was important to begin to fix this road now before it becomes worse, so that we'll not begin to waste resources on repairing roads and there and then. So that's the situation in Amasu. Hopefully that motorists who adhere to caution, adhere to officials, and adhere to signages, pay attention to instructions given by LASMA officials. We're also here to ensure that traffic goes on smoothly. And that's what the situation is right now on U-turn Road, Abulegba. That's Lagos-Abeokuta Express Road.
Victor, I think the biggest concern tends to be the longevity of how long the roads would stay intact. But I want to know, how long does is it expected for the rehabilitation to last? And are there any alternative routes that have been mapped out for motorists during this period?
Well, like I said, we only have about 4 weeks for the entire carriageway. We have 2 carriageways, one on my left and the other on the right. So the first carriageway is where we are currently having repair works going on. You can see just on my right-hand side, you can see the milling trucks, taking care of that demarcated section of the road to ensure that the surface of that road is completely taken off and replaced with new concrete. That was what was done on the left-hand side anyway. So this is going to take 2 weeks. Between today's 11th February, it's going to take between now and the 4th of March. That's in 2 weeks' time. We expect that all of that should have been fixed. Do not forget that it's not going to be the entire stretch from U-turn down to Sango Tollgate, as we've seen in papers or certain media outlets. But what they are trying to say is every section of the road that has failed integrity test will undergo this surgical operation going on. Now, when this has gone on for 2 weeks, they go into the next side of the road, as the other carriage, which is on my right-hand side, and administer the same treatment on those portions of the road. Like I said, you might not find any pothole basically, but they've said that those particular stretch of the road, any particular stretch of the road that fails integrity test, will be worked upon before it gets to a worse situation where potholes and all of that will cause chaos on our roads, frustration for commuters and motorists not finding it easy. The Lagos-Abeokuta Express is a major expressway that links both Lagos and other southwest states. So it's important that the ministry also, focus on this stretch of the road and ensure that everybody, goes home happy.
Victor Mbadike out there at the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway. Thank you so much for the insight.